Good evening, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about arrays and how I like to do them, and a couple of ways that you can go about doing this. I'm going to do it in ladder logic at first. As I said before, most of the U.S., most of everybody transitioning off of Allen Bradley and into Codesys, hopefully, might make it a little bit more easy to do. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Just have our Codesys project up that we have been working with since I started this channel a few months ago. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So there's a couple of ways to go about doing this. And from our previous video, if you loaded in the Blink library, we can use this, or you can use a timer. I like using the timer sometimes. But you can also create a variable for this if you want to change it, which I recommend. That way you can speed it up or slow it down. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to, inside just our one program here, we're going to declare a variable, um, an array variable. Apologies. Let's just call it array YouTube. Okay, and so then we're going to do the colon, and then we're going to select array, and then we're going to do a bracket, and it's going to start at 0, and then let's just pick a number. Let's just say 33. Then we're going to close that, and so now we have our array, and then we're going to make it of type. Let's just do booleans for now. And then we're going to close that off. So now we have an array of booleans that runs from 0 to 33. So our next step would be, I'm going to come down here, and I just right clicked on rung 2. So I'm going to say insert a network below. And now I want to get our index. And Codesys in the manual will say, oh, well, you can just, draw a straight line, and it'll do this on scan rate, and it'll be that scan rate every single time. Or in structured text, you do the do all. But if you want to speed it up or slow it down, or let's say this array was really giant and you have a machine that scales, so instead of 33, this is like 200, but you only want to use up to a certain amount, you can use other variables to change that, and that way you don't ever have to come back and change your code. But we'll go over all the advanced stuff a little bit later, and some other videos if y'all like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to insert an empty box. You can just do the regular or not, or you can put the enable in and out if you'd like. So we can just do empty box here, and then we're going to do a timer on delay. So then we're going to need to declare it. So we can just do array loop timer, and auto declare is going to take care of that. And so then now we have our time that we want it to run, and if you want to monitor your elapsed time, you can do that if you want. So to make it easier for viewing, I'm just going to do a quick, let's just do, what do y'all think? 750 milliseconds. And so then I want to negate this. So I'm just going to right click and go down to negate, and then I'm going to pick array loop timer. So as long as it's not done. And then I normally, whenever I do this in ladder logic, I normally put an output over here just because, in case you need to use it for something else. If you want to turn it into a global variable to use it elsewhere, we can do that. So that's how I normally do it. So let's do array loop timer done. We're just gonna make this really easy. going to come over here. All right. So now that we got our timer here done, uh, for code efficiency, we could come here and we could put a drop down and put our counters and everything over. But for ease of looking at it, I'm just going to go ahead and insert another network. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a count up. So I'm going to just drag this over here. And then we're going to need to declare this, so we can call this index up if you want. And so we want to count up every single time that this timer gets finished. So you can use this that we just created, just like that, or you can do this same bit here, which is the same exact thing. So every time this is done, we are going to have a count value that is going to go up. Then what we want to do is we want to reset this to start over when it gets to a certain amount. But it's always going to start on a 0 and then completely count up. So this is where it gets really important. So if we're going to start here on a 0, so I normally never put anything in this. And then let's say we want to go to 15. Right? So our array block is 33, or let's say we want to go to 30, right? So what we're going to do is we need to declare this count variable here, right? So we can say, well, whatever this is going to be, this is going to be our index. So let's make this a global for some other videos. So we're just going to go here and say index. This is going to be an integer. So we can do index. And we're probably going to get a little blue squiggly line in a little bit that's going to say, oh, well, this is a word, but we'll show you how to take care of that. So whenever we want to reset and start over, whenever this thing gets done counting up to whatever it is that we're loading to. So then we just take index up and Q. So whenever the counter is actually done counting up to whatever it is we want, it will reset and it will start over. You can also do the same thing we did up here. You can add another, sorry, my cat. Then we can index up, done, just declare that. So now, let's say we want to go to 30, our array block goes to 33, but we only want to go to 30. So now we're going to say 31. So as soon as it gets to 31, as soon as it rolls over, so that way it reads the data that's in the 30th block that we want, as soon as it gets to 31, it's going to be done, and then it's going to reset. And it's going to continue to count up. So what we can do right now to test this out, I'm just going to, I got to turn it on first. All right, PLC running. There we go. I'll log in with a download. Hit run. So now, as you can see here, we are counting up. and then we just start it over. All right. So now how that would look code wise. So what we can do is we can insert a contact here, and then our array block was array YouTube, and then the bracket, and then we can do our index, and then let's say if we wanted to set this motor running, we could do that. So then we could do this here. We're gonna go ahead and set that up. So whenever something happens, you know, just make it. Uh, all right. So now what we can do here is then take this, put this right here. So that's going to set that. And then we don't have our other option lit up, but I'll just toggle that for the video. And so now we're going to see this here, that whenever this is rolling through, this is going to light up when we have something set in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and just download this. So as you can see here, it's cycling through and it's looking for something that is positive note to set this bit. We need our option on, so just going to toggle that on real fast. So now the motor is ready to run. Let's say if you're doing a step or something like that, step logic. So now we have our array loop here. As you can see, we now have all of these booleans. So let's say we want it to start on number 13. So I'm just going to force this on real quick. And so now when we cycle up to number 13, this bit is going to come on and turn this on. And there we go. And that is pretty much it, folks. That's how I do arrays. And another video, I'm going to do a countdown. So if you have a machine that is, so let's say you have like these are all of our array indexes, right? So if we want to later on, what we'll do is we want to move like a robot or a machine, from home. Let's say we want to go to here. Uh, so whenever it gets to here, so now the robot is here. Then we want the index to look back this way and back this way. So let's say you had a whole bunch of workers or other machines right here on these points, and they're like, okay, I'm done. And you want this robot thing here to run back over to this way, it would run and pick this up. And then it's going to be constantly looking forward and reverse, however long that your array is going to go. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you like it, like if you like the video. If you got any questions, concerns, please leave a comment. Click on the thing, go to the website. I believe the form's anonymous and optional if you want, and reach out to you as soon as we get a chance. Once again, thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. Y'all have a great Sunday.